the United States declared its independence from Great Britain on July 4, 1776, marking the formal beginning of the nation. This historic event was the result of years of growing tension between the American colonies and the British government. The colonies had become increasingly frustrated with British policies, particularly those that imposed taxes without giving the colonists a voice in Parliament. This lack of representation, combined with restrictive laws and a desire for self-governance, led to a widespread push for independence. The adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776 was the culmination of these efforts and a bold statement of the colony's intent to form a new, independent nation. One of the primary reasons for the push toward independence was taxation without representation. The British government imposed several taxes on the colonies, such as the Stamp Act of 1765 and the Townshend Acts of 1767, to pay for debts from the French and Indian War. However, the colonists had no representation in Parliament, leading to widespread protests and the famous slogan, "No taxation without representation." These taxes were seen as unjust and fueled resentment toward British rule. The colonists believed that they should have the right to govern themselves and make decisions about their own taxes and laws. In addition to taxation, the British government enacted a series of restrictive policies that further angered the colonists. For example, the Intolerable Acts of 1774 were passed to punish Massachusetts for the Boston Tea Party of 1773, where colonists dumped British tea into Boston Harbor to protest tea taxes. These acts restricted colonial self-governance and closed Boston's port, causing economic hardship. Such measures convinced many colonists that reconciliation with Britain was impossible and that independence was the only path forward. The growing desire for self-governance and freedom from British interference became a driving force behind the independence movement. The ideas of the Enlightenment also played a significant role in shaping the colonists' desire for independence. Thinkers like John Locke emphasized the importance of natural rights, such as life, liberty, and property, and argued that governments derive their power from the consent of the governed. These ideas deeply influenced colonial leaders like Thomas Jefferson, who drafted the Declaration of Independence. The document not only declared the colonies' separation from Britain, but also articulated the philosophical foundation for the new nation, asserting that all people are created equal and have the right to govern themselves. The Declaration of Independence, adopted on July 4, 1776, was a revolutionary document that formally announced the colonies' break from Britain. It outlined the reasons for independence, including grievances against King George III, and asserted the colonies' right to self-governance. Although the American Revolutionary War had already begun in April 1775 with battles like Lexington and Concord, the Declaration solidified the colonies' resolve to fight for their freedom. The war continued until 1783, when the Treaty of Paris was signed, officially recognizing the United States as an independent nation. The Declaration of Independence remains a cornerstone of American history, symbolizing the birth of a nation founded on the principles of liberty, equality, and self-determination.